Welcome everyone, Dylan Gemelli here today with a brand new video for you. So today we're just going to talk about SARMS quality. I just want to talk about SARMS quality, and that is it today. All right, so what do I mean by that? What are we discussing? What am I actually getting at? How do I know about this quality? And yada, 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 yada. Look, the SARMS industry took a major hit many years ago, and let me explain. When the pro-hormone ban came down, very dark day in the world of performance-enhancing drugs. Many people that were selling pro-hormones legally, perfectly legally, were then just struck. And what do I mean by they were struck? Well, I know several companies that had hundreds of thousands of dollars in products in their stock that all of a sudden, boom, one day they just can't sell. Done. Nothing to do with it. That alone is such a detrimental and huge loss. It's not like you can go return that. You can't go return those raws. So that alone right there, it's a scary situation on what a big hit that can be. Now, you could make the argument, well, you should have seen that coming, yada, 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 but you don't always see these things coming, and they happen quick, all right? So what does that matter? What does that have to do with it? Look, when I started in studying SARMS and talking about SARMS, barely anybody was even talking about them, knew about them, or used them. Why would they? Because everybody was either using legal pro-hormones or steroids. SARMs were really off the radar. Peptide SARMs, they're there, but especially SARMs at that time were so new. I'm talking like 2010, 2011, 2012. And I still remember to this day back then, really, you could only get S4 and MK2866. MK677 was there, but very, very few, well, there was very few sites anyway. But that was only on a couple sites and nobody really was using it, to be honest with you. There was a real lack of understanding on it and really of SARMs in general. And then all of a sudden GW 501-516 comes out. Then LGD comes out. And so more and more things are being developed. But still, even when LGD came out, and I don't have my numbers in front of me, but I'm pretty sure that was 2013. It was 13 or 14. I can't exactly remember, but that's along the lines when these things started to change. And what happened was that the people that were selling pro-hormones that were making a living off this, their whole lives got destructed. I mean, what are they going to do? So what did they do? They found the next best alternative. They found SARMs. From people like me, the very few that were talking about them and pushing them and whatever else. I was repping for several companies just like I do now. As a rep, not an owner. Just so that we're clear on that, people. Because people will say, your site, you're this, you're that. Look, dude, I don't run SARMs websites or own them. I'm not an idiot. All right? I run a gym, and I have worked with investments in real estate. I don't own SARMS companies. I don't own bodybuilding forums. I might be administrators on them, and I might rep for people, but I'm also not a moron. But anyway, regardless, I do rep hard, and I do that for everybody that I rep for, because I don't just rep for supplemental companies and bodybuilding companies. Anytime that I've been hired to market or rep, I rep hard because I believe in it and I trust it. But anyway, let's talk about this quality issue. Now, what happened is that so many places decided they wanted to get into the SARMS industry and start illegally marketing these as supplements, because you can't. These are research chemicals and they have to be sold as research chemicals. And what that did was draw so much attention to the SARMS industry to start with. Then, and either by choice or by accident, and I'll tell you what I mean by that, people started selling bad SARMs. So what I believe is that many people got taken advantage of by, overseas suppliers that saw this and started sending them different products that were cheaper. But then there are plenty of shady people that were probably putting their pro-hormones that they were stuck with into these pills and making you go, oh man, these SARMs, they're getting me these kind of results. People getting side effects they should never get with SARMs, gaining size they should never get with SARMs. When I see people post and they gain 15, 20 pounds with one SARM, I'm sorry, that's not how it's supposed to go. Or having all these terrible side effects, these, estrogen conversion, shutdown. These are not SARMs side effects. Okay, and then what happens is mainstream media, which is the biggest crock of shit on the planet, starts making up things like they do with everything else in our life. All right, and we see that not just with politics, with everything. Everything is a crock of shit. So then they start coming across, because of their motives, and I get that's a totally different story, about, oh, that the SARMs cause this, they do this, they do that. Bullshit. They do not. They do if you're getting pro hormones or something fake in a pill that you don't know what you're taking. These aren't regulated. It's not like these are FDA approved and then you're getting these side effects. You don't even know what you're using half the time with some of these places. Many places now are going through the process of getting more COAs, all right, certificate of analysis and things of that nature, which is great. The problem is some people do a bait and switch, and then you got the honest companies, all right? I'm just going to tell you this. You have to be diligent, you have to be careful, and you have to look. There's a lot of companies out there that have fake review sites up. I'm not going to name anybody in these videos. That's not what I'm here to do. But I am going to tell you this. When you go to some of these sites that say, oh, the best SARMs for sale in their reviews and da-da-da-da-da, you can easily tell that they're fake and phony, especially when it's certain same ones over and over, and they got certain ones they pick out and bash at that are their main competition. It doesn't take a rocket scientist, but in fairness, people that are new to this, they see that and they pop up and they're like, oh, a review site. These are so fake and phony, and it's so obvious on who's doing them, and you can easily tell. I don't have to say a word. They've already buried themselves. But they do it to try to get higher placements on Google and things of that nature. It's not how it works, man, because eventually these things come to light. People post about it everywhere. You can have all the fake reviews you want and do all of these things, but it does come out. Look, the liquid, the capsule thing, it's all about the quality. I like liquids because you can manipulate the dosing easier. If you get a capsule, you're kind of stuck with it. You could, it's people are like, well, what do I do here? With the liquid, you can maneuver it and manipulate it. But for me to sit here and say, oh, it's so much better at the pill or this or that, look, it's all about the quality. All right. Now, I could say it's about what kind of environment they're being produced in, because you don't want somebody producing them in their kitchen or their basement. But, that's hard to prove when somebody tells you that. But I do know of places that have their own facilities, and then people that are like, I don't even know what the hell they're doing. I don't even want to get into that. You don't want to know. But, that's what it is, and that's what the industry is. And that's why it's up to you to do your due diligence, to look and I guess trust in people that you want to trust in. I have repped for companies that have done extremely well for very long periods of time, but as we know, it's just like anything else. Things happen. Some people lose suppliers, some people go out of business, some people have life issues, and some people get scandalous. That's just how it is. But I always try to make sure I've done due diligence on who I represent and things like that when I do marketing for people or help people out. SARMS for sale is who I recommend, that I have 1,000,000% confidence in, where I've seen now how they do business, know that they have their own facility. I know this for sure, things like that. I'm not saying they're the only good company out there. That would be a farce. I know plenty of other people that have good intentions out there, and a couple really good quality companies. I stick with them. That's who I trust. That's who I've had tremendous results with, and who's treated me extremely great. And I've seen their customer service and how they do things, and I know that when I recommend them, I can do so with full confidence. It's very simple. Their website is SARMS. And it's for sale, FORSALE. That's who Dylan Gemelli approves and recommends, because I get asked often. So that being said, please subscribe to the channel. We're rebuilding. We're coming back strong. So please subscribe and follow along, and stay tuned for plenty more to come. Dylan Gemelli, signing off.